Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about letting go somewhat of independence um, and letting a man take care of me. Um, at least I would say at least 60 to 70% of the time I was taking care of the man. The other 30% of the time he was taking care of me. And the reason why I say that is even when I was on the streets, if I had a man, when I had a man for quite a while, I won't say his name, but I made sure he had a phone. I made sure he had food. Made sure he had clothes. I made sure he had everything he needed. I made sure he had a bus pass, tap card, everything he needed until he could get work, get food stamps, get uh, uh, GR, whatever he needed. I supported him, helped him get whatever he needed until he could get on his feet. And even then, I still kept supporting him. And then eventually, he did help me back when I needed it. But there was a lot of abuse that went on too. Um, it was a really dark time for me. Um, when I had homes with men, I paid the bills. I kept the roof over our head. I paid the bills. Um, my ex-husband, he would go to the food banks. Call himself doing something. Can barely hold a job. Every time I've been in an apartment with a man, they could barely hold a job for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, there was just little reasons why they couldn't hold a job for more than a couple weeks. It was really sad. And, at one point I had a lot of seizures. And I think part of the problem was that maybe one of the guys I was with, maybe he was too afraid that he'd leave me at home and there wouldn't be anybody to wake me up. I have a seizure, and maybe that's why maybe he purposely messed his job up so he could be at home with me. But he could have gotten a home health nurse. He could have gotten someone else for me. I could have gotten a home health nurse, but I didn't realize I could have gotten one. I could have gotten someone to help take care of me and the baby. And he could have worked. We didn't know that. We were just kids trying to figure it out. But to have a man truly take care of me is something that's kind of foreign to me. When they talk about a man paying the bills, when they talk about men paying the bills, putting a roof over a woman's head, paying the bills, making sure she has food in her house, making sure she has what she needs, and then, well, I don't do the whole nails and going to the salon and getting my hair done. I've been doing my own hair since I was 20 years old. And most of the time, I just put my hair back in a ponytail and call it good. I don't really do a whole lot with my hair unless there's a special occasion. If there's a special occasion, then I'll get my hair all dolled up. But other than that, I just put my hair in a ponytail and I call it good. I don't really do a lot with my hair. I am freaking lazy as fuck with my hair. I don't do shit with my hair. I don't. Now, on the note, people wonder why I cuss. I'm from the South. Everybody cusses down south. Well, let's just say no, they don't. But you got two groups of people down south. You have the people who cuss worse than a sailor. And then you have the other half who, well, you actually have three groups of people. You have the people who cuss worse than a sailor. You have the second group who cusses and then says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Lord, forgive me, please. Oh, I said a bad word." And I'm over exaggerating because they don't use a British accent, but I just thought it would be funny to use a British accent. But no, that's how they talk. Like, "Oh, Lord, forgive me. I said a bad word." It's so sacrilegious because, like, my mom, she did that all the time. But she just like, really? Anyway. I just look at her and I go, really? Alrighty then. And then you have the third group of people who don't cuss at all. They are very super religious. Don't cuss at all. Now, I know there's this rule of like, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be cussing because in the Bible, you shouldn't be cussing. But I'm going to explain something to you. Did you know that most cuss words are actually acronyms that mean something else entirely different than what you think it means? Go look it up sometime. Some of the curse words that you're familiar with, your typical curse words, actually mean something totally different than what you think it means. Like the word fuck means fornicate under command of the king. Shit actually was a common word used for, it was another word for shark. But it was another word. It was just a common word used for poop. But it actually had another meaning to it entirely. Of course, I don't remember what it was. But the thing about it is, they say words have power. But words only have power if you give them power. If you don't give them power, then they're nullified. And there's a difference between just saying a cuss word and then directing it towards someone. If you just say a cuss word, shit, fuck, hell, Okay, I said it. What about it? Not doing anything. It's a word in the English language. It's a word. Like any other word, it's a word. It only has power if you give it power. We are the energy source. We are the energy source. And if you understand Gnostic Christianity, you understand heaven and hell both exist within us. Heaven is inside and outside of us. So we are the energy source. We give the words power and meaning. If we don't give them power and meaning, then they don't have power or meaning to them at all. Just like if we have a situation that comes up, but we don't give it power or meaning, then it doesn't have power or meaning. My adopted mother just passed away at 2:30 this morning. I've known for a while that this was coming. We all did. The family knew. Me and my sister. We knew that she was getting ready to die. We knew this. We just didn't know when. I was getting mentally and emotionally prepared to deal with this. They had been wanting me to come down since July. But every time that I tried to come down, she kept getting sick. And by the time I could come down, the prices got jacked up because of the holidays, so I couldn't come down to see her. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to her funeral or not. I have no idea. We'll see. I'm working on that. But how do I feel about it? My mom and I, we had a very tumultuous relationship growing up. My sisters don't know my mom the way I do. She's my adopted mother, but they don't know her the way I do because they left when I was young and they came back later to take care of her when I left. So they were in and out of the picture, but I was stuck with her. She adopted me and they left. And she was verbally and psychologically abusive. She said a lot of things that were very, very, very damaging and very hurtful towards me. I got bullied at school and I got bullied at home, and even my sisters bullied me. My mom finally, in her own way, apologized for all of that crap. She finally apologized to me for all of it. My sister never did. Just decided that she was just going to start being nice to me. She never actually apologized, but I guess in her own way she apologized. But she never actually said, "I'm sorry for making you feel like shit. I'm sorry for almost driving you to suicide. I'm sorry, and I apologize for making your life a living hell. I'm sorry for the way I treated you. You did not deserve any of that." I never got that. I still have never gotten that. I don't know that I ever will. But I kind of look at it like this. It's very difficult. It's very difficult of a situation to know how to react in the situation, because what do you do? Like my sister Tony and my sister Sonia, they worshiped the ground my mom walked on, because they were not always in the picture to know how she was with me. She did everything physically right on the outside. Yeah, she took care of me. I mean, she made sure I was fed and clothed. She made everything look good on the outside. But they, and as they say, some of the worst scars you can have are the ones that are internal, the ones you don't see. But see, my sisters, they don't get it. They don't get it. They weren't there. They didn't have to deal with her for as long as I had to deal with her. They were not there. It's one thing to hear her say, "I'm sorry," and she wants us to act like a family. Act like a family. Act like a family, right? Optimal words. Keyword, act like a family. The problem is she had a lot of unresolved trauma that she never dealt with. And I guess in her own way, she taught me probably the most valuable lesson in life that she could have ever taught me. In her own special way, she taught me the most sacred, most valuable lesson in life that she could have ever taught me, was that you have to deal with your shit. You have to do the shadow work. You have to deal with those parts of yourself that are hard to deal with, because you cannot lash out on the next generation. You cannot let it affect your children and the next generations because of your unresolved trauma. And whatever you do not deal with, the next generation will have to deal with your shit plus theirs. And it's not fair to them to have to deal with your mess and theirs, because they're going to have their own shit to deal with. They don't need yours as well. You need to deal with your shit. Sit down with it and deal with yourself. All of your triggers, all of your bad habits, every single thing that ticks you off, everything that upsets you, everything that drives you absolutely nuts. Everything that your friends say annoy them about you. You have to take all this into consideration. You have to put it all under a microscope, and you have to figure out why all of this is and deal with it. Look at it under a microscope and deal with it. And this all comes back around also. Let me get back on point. This all comes back around to letting a man take care of you. Because if you have all this unresolved trauma, if you have all this unresolved baggage, and this is another thing, my mom never had a man in the house. And I thought, growing up, that she was teaching me how to be a good housewife. No, she was teaching me how to be independent. She never taught me how to be a good wife, because she never had a man in the house. She never was in a relationship when I was there, so I didn't have any guidance. My sisters were in relationships, but I didn't really understand any of it. I had to figure it out all on my own. I didn't have anyone to guide me, really, except for when I messed up. And then that's when they showed up later. When I was older, they showed up. And when I messed up, that's when they told me, oh, you messed up. Because I got myself involved in some stuff with a couple of guys who were being dishonest. I got myself caught up in some because the guys were being dishonest about some stuff. I had to confront it, and it wasn't pretty. It got messy. It sucked. It wasn't nice. I don't like being in a situation where a guy is lying about being married, and he says he's divorced, and he's not. And I have to call the wife on the phone and explain to her that I've been in her house and that I was sleeping with her man, and he lied to me and told me that he was divorced and that she needs to leave him because he is a lying, cheating, no good piece of shit. And that we both got played. And she came over to the house, and we both hugged and we cried, and we both realized that we both got played, and it sucked, and neither one of us enjoyed it. It was horrible. I cannot stand when men lie. Like, don't lie about that stuff. If you have a wife and you're supposed to be happily married, fuck, don't lie about that stuff. Just stay with your wife. If you're not happy, then divorce her. Don't cheat on her. Just divorce her if you're not happy. I don't understand why anybody cheats on people that they're married to if you're supposed to be happily married. If you're not happy, then separate and get a divorce. I'm still working on my divorce now, but we've been separated since April of 2009, and we have not been together since then. We barely said a word to each other. The last time we spoke to each other was when we were agreeing that we both wanted a divorce, and that was it. That was the last time we said anything to each other at all. That was years ago. The only reason I haven't gotten the divorce is because they messed up the freaking paperwork. So I got to do it all over again. I did try to get a divorce. I did try, but I got to do it all over again now. Even when I was with my husband, I paid the bills. He didn't pay the bills. I did. Off my TANF check. Yep. Sure did. So it's kind of like this. To let a man take care of me, ooh. Because see, here's the hard part about letting a man take care of you. This is the reason why it's so difficult to let a man take care of you. Because see, some men think that it's easy enough for women to just shut our brain off and say, here, we want to be taken care of by men. But a woman who's had trauma, a woman who's been traumatized, it's not always that way. Because there are some men out there. Now, I'm not saying this is all men, but there are some men out there who will say they want to take care of a woman, and then they will use that as a means to control a woman in the wrong way because they are not a true dom. There are fake doms out there who don't understand true divine masculine energy and how to correctly love a woman in her divine feminine energy. There are fake doms out there who like to prey on women, who will say they want to take care of a woman, but then will use it to manipulate and control her by that because they think, oh, I've done this for you. Oh, I've done that for you. Now I own you. You belong to me. I can do whatever I want because now I own you. No. Let me stop you right there. You don't own shit. Let me get this straight right now. A woman is not your property, buddy. I'm gonna go toe to toe with you on this. A woman is not your property. Not now, not ever. If she wants you to be her dom, you have to understand that it is she who grants you permission to be her dom in the way that she wants you to dominate her. And at any time, that can be revoked. And that has always got to be understood, that if she does not want you to be her dom any longer, the second she says no, all bets are off. You stop right then and there. You do not take a second step. Period. End of discussion. Got it? Good. Same way with the man. If the man is the sub and the woman is the dom, same thing. But usually it's the females is the sub and the men are the dom. But in this situation, if the man is the sub and the woman is the dom, sometimes that happens too. Be a different situation. But usually the females want to be the sub and the men want to be the dom. Usually, but it could work either way, but whichever one you are. But your dynamic could be, whichever one is happy, whatever works for you. But there has to be mutual respect. There has to be mutual agreement and respect on both sides. And if there is not mutual respect and dignity and honor and trust on both sides, then you got no deal. You have no deal. It's not going to work. If you're going to take care of a woman, you have to take care of her in the way that she wants you to take care of her, in the way that she deserves to be taken care of, but with grace and dignity and gentleness. And respect. Respect. She is a queen. You are the king. She is a queen. Women and men are equal. You're not beneath. You are equal. You are divine, feminine, and masculine energy in balance. Just because you're the dom and she is the sub, you each have your role to play. And there is this dance that you're doing, and there is this balance. One is the provider and the protector. One is the nurturer and the multiplier, and the gatherer, the hunter-gatherer, and the cooker, the baker, the grower, the seeder, the nurturer. Well, he's the planter, he's the seeder. She's the waterer, the nurturer, the plower, the nurturer. She makes the seed grow. He plants the seed, she waters it and makes it grow. You both need each other. We both need each other to make it work. We are not supposed to be at war with each other. And as long as you are acting as long as we are acting like we are at World War III with each other, you cannot be in your divine feminine and masculine energy. You can't do it. You're not supposed to be warring at each other and butting heads. You're supposed to be coming together in divine harmony, synchronicity, in peace with one another, together. And if a man is going to provide for his woman, it has to be genuine. It has to be natural, and it has to be earnest and forthright, and it has to be honest with the utmost integrity and respect and loyalty and honor for his woman, for his lady, for his queen, or his other half. Well, you are a whole, she is a whole, and you are both wholes coming together and merging into one. And I'm going to end with this. Have a good day. Thank you for joining me.